What's up, family? Let me know if you can hear me, first of all, if the sound is good. Got to make sure the sound is good. We don't want to get into this and I'm just talking away. Nobody hears what I'm saying. Let me know if my sound is good. Yes, it's good. It's good. All right, family in the house. Jason, appreciate you. Jason, appreciate you, Debbie. Let me know everything good. Black Indy, what's good? What's up? Good. What's good, Bobby Cash? What's good, Leslie Ann? Listen, y'all, if this is your first time on Willie D Live at the family meeting, this is how we do it. You let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the US, let me know what country you're representing. And I'll give you some shout outs before I get into the show. Also, your handles, when you leave your messages, if your handle is not real clear as like say Eleanor Cortez is, that's, well, I can simply read that says Eleanor Cortez. A lot of these handles are kind of like a bunch of words put together, letters put together and words put together. So I can't understand what it says. So I'd like to know what your name is. Even if you want to give me a fake name, give me something that I can easily read, something that's legible, and I'll give you a shout out and we'll take it from there. If you have questions, that's beautiful. But what's more beautiful than questions is solutions. We love solutions on the family meeting. Anytime we have a family meeting, y'all know it's a serious deal. That's why I call this family meeting. What we do is we do basically an update on what's went down in the past week since the last family meeting we had. So tonight, we're going to get into it about excessive use of force with these police officers all around the United States of America. They treating these schools like it's some type of occupied, like there's some type of occupied force. Well, they are actually doing the whole country like that. All the communities are basically just occupied. And it seems that police officers have a us against them mentality when we're all citizens and when we're all living and sharing the same space. It just seems that when they put the uniform on, it's a us against them type mentality. And now they've turned on our children and they are assaulting our children. They're using excessive force left and right. I mean, you can't even count the number of incidents of police excessive force being used. This body slamming technique that they're using, it's like somebody is teaching them, look, this is how you do them. When you can pick them up, you pick them up and slam them. Because you don't see them doing adults like that. But you see time and time again, cops picking up youngsters and body slamming them. It's almost like it's a power trip, because you've seen over and over where a lot of these cops are clearly larger, much larger than these kids. And so if you can pick up a kid and body slam a kid, you can just wrestle a kid down to the ground. If you can pick them up and body slam them, listen to what I'm saying. If you can pick them up and body slam them, you can wrestle them to the ground. If you got the strength to pick up a child and body slam them, you have the strength to just wrestle a child to the ground. But no, that's too much like right. They are body slam. They picking these kids up, body slamming them to the ground. It doesn't matter if it's the concrete or grass or wooden floor. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever that a cop should have to body slam a child. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. I know we got some major issues going on in Houston. I just seen an 11-year-old kid, a video where an 11-year-old kid got body slammed in Florida. I mean, it's totally out of control. They're not getting out of control. They've been out of control for some time now. On the show today, I will have a man who is running for sheriff of Fort Bend County. His name is Eric Fagan. He will be running for sheriff, and not will be, but he is running for sheriff in Fort Bend County. So hopefully we'll have an ally on our side who can help navigate this situation, our situation that we have with our police and community, can basically serve as a police and community liaison where we can foster better relationships with police and community, because a big part of it is that these officers, they don't live in the communities that they serve. And I use serve very loosely because they're not even serving, they're just whooping ass, basically. That's the way I see it. So let me give some shout outs to y'all, and then we'll get this thing popping. All right. So DOA, the lunatic in the building. Also, y'all, if you hit the super chat, that's a feature that YouTube uses to allow you guys to basically skip the line when you have questions or you want to make a statement, whatever. You use that super chat and you can skip the line. And that will basically assure that I read your comment. Big Sap, what up? Great content, brother. Much respect to you, OG. I appreciate you, Big Sap. Appreciate you. Brother Man 7, what up? What up with you? Appreciate you. Brandon Hendricks, what's up? West Side Chicago in the building. Stanley White says, homeschool your children if possible. Damn Skippy, man. I like that one. That's one of my favorites. I like them solution-oriented. Solution-oriented. I like that. Solution-oriented comments. Texas Made Food, what's good? Jonathan McNeil, what up with you? Twin Cities in the building. Kanita Johnson. What's up, Queen? Malik Foster, Madisonville, Kentucky. Black Truth, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Chicago in here, West Side Chicago, Jeff Rogers. What it do? What's up, Bigfoot? The Place, Louisiana, Ronald Tyler. Chicago up in here again, Ruby Flower. What's up, Ruby? St. Paul, Minnesota in the building. YNG pimping. Chicago in here deep tonight. Ooh, man, they're not getting nothing started. Jermaine Housing. Chicago, Illinois in the building. Who was that jumping in the super chat? Joseph Turner. What's up, Joseph? Joseph says, apply force with force, stand your ground. This is a free country. Philadelphia, PA, and the South Philly to be exact. Yeah. Kirkland Don, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. South Central in the house. Salute South Central. Still feeling you out there, man. Feel your pain out there. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. Safa Ali. Radical Reggie. What's up? Thanks for always telling us the business. You're a very inspirational figure for the community. Appreciate you, Radical Reggie. RR. Can't lose with double R. Rolls Royce. You dig? Scotty Jenkins, Cleveland. What's up, Scotty? Harlem in the building. Louisiana up in here. Shaka Zulu. NYC. See y'all up in here, man. What's up, Lee? I see Flint, Michigan in the house. I saw y'all got that big fund. I think it was 25 million or something like that. Y'all got some type of grant to aid with that water crisis. Jay Perfect, I'm talking to you. What's up, Kenny B? Peace. Big Sap. Big Sap up in here. Yeah. So let's get it cracking, y'all. So there's a surprising number of Texas school districts that have turned responsibility for what used to be a student routine discipline, right? This was student routine discipline over law enforcement. As a result, many students receive criminal records instead of a trip to the principal's office for engaging in childish misbehavior. This trend is detrimental not only to schools in Texas, Louisiana, Florida, all around the United States, but it's detrimental to our economic well-being. The presence of law enforcement is absolutely overwhelming for a lot of our students, many of our students. It creates stress, anxiety. It's basically counterproductive to learning. When you go into a school and the first thing that you see, the first person you're greeted by is a member of law enforcement, it creates a certain type of energy that is not good, it's not positive. It is my opinion that law enforcement is totally unnecessary inside of schools, perhaps outside of the school. Maybe they can be posted up in their car. Stay away from our children. Get away. We don't need you, because many of you don't know how to do your job. Many of you totally use too much force when dealing with these children. I spent 13 years in school. 13 years in school and never saw a police officer at my school. Yes, I was a little bad actor. Yes, there were other kids who were bad actors. But you also had teachers and principals, assistant principals, coaches. And there was a certain level of respect. So I understand that some of the kids, many of the kids today are disrespectful and they don't respect nothing and all that type of stuff. But if the parent, if the teachers, if the coaches, if an assistant principal, if there's not somebody there that their kid respects enough to calm down when they get a little bit too hyper, that kid does not need to be in school. And we do not need to be treating these schools like the school is some type of prison camp, because that's the way it seems. If the kid is so irate, so irritable, so disrespectful, so disruptive that he can't sit in a classroom, that she can't obey the rules, she don't need to be there. And you figure that out from there, but you don't babysit disruptive kids. You send them to an alternative school, the SAC or whatever. But there is a way to have a controlled environment without having these cops everywhere and these cops abusing their authority because they only have one gear, and that's go in and escalate the problem. They don't, it appears that many of them don't at least have the wherewithal to de-escalate situations. It seems like their whole game is to escalate. So I'm gonna get on the phone. Let's see if I can get Eric Fagan on the phone right quick. He is running for sheriff in Fort Bend County. Fort Bend is a city very close to Houston, a county next to Houston. Hey, Eric.
Hey.
Hey, man, what's up? How you feel?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, man, you know, I woke up, anything else can be negotiated. Yeah. Yeah. So are you familiar with any of these recent cases of where police are using excessive force?
Yes, I've been hearing about the issues.
Right. Are you familiar with the one that happened? The little boy, the 11-year-old, was attacked by the police officer in Florida.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yeah. And what is your take on that?
Uh, it's very disturbing. The saying that a trained officer couldn't handle an 11-year-old child, and that's what 11-year-old is, a child, without using extreme force. It is incomprehensible for an officer to use that type of force on a child.
So what exactly what amount of force should be used in those type of situations?
In those situations, things like that, I personally feel I can't speak for the officer. I wasn't there, and I don't like second guessing other officers. But I would say this: for a situation like that, he should have got an administrator, a school administrator, a child, somebody that young. Mm-hmm. Officers should be trained to do how to de-escalate situations.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It doesn't call for hands-on using that type of force. You can hold a person down without striking them. An 11-year-old child.
Can you think of any situation where an officer would have to actually pick up a child, an 11-year-old child, and body slam them in order to restrain them?
No, I can't. Yeah. Like I said, I really think that the officer should have got an administrator. An officer shouldn't even have been in that situation in the first place. For an 11-year-old, unless the 11-year-old child had a weapon, a deadly weapon, something like that. Other than that, an officer shouldn't have to be called to handle that situation.
Yeah.
The school administration should have been able to handle that situation. Law enforcement shouldn't have even been involved in that case.
So let me ask you this: so I'm just a citizen. I ain't never been in law enforcement. The closest I came to law enforcement was a security guard for an oil company, and I didn't even have a gun. So I can't say that I ever dealt with any of the type of stresses that law enforcement have to deal with. But when I think of that type of that scenario, many of the people, common people like myself, citizens like myself, we wonder how much somebody like this guy, the cop that did what he did to the youngster in Florida, how likely would it be that officer could get away with that if you had other officers who stepped up, the so-called good officers? Because we always hear the situation where people say, well, not all cops are bad. Not all cops are bad. And what we say, what I hear more consistently than anything is, well, if not all cops are bad, where are they? Why aren't they stepping up to expose the bad cops? So that's my question to you is, why aren't there more cops stepping up to expose the bad cops? And when the so-called good cop does step up to expose a bad cop, why is there so much resistance from other members of law enforcement, including their fellow law officers?
Well, I would have to say this. You have to look at the top. When I say that, you have to look at the head, the police chief and the sheriff, the constable, the head person.
Bingo.
Everything slows down.
Bingo.
It has to be where their mindset. Wherever their mindset is, that's what the deputies and the officers will follow. So what I'm saying is, like the case, the officer shoots an unarmed man, and for some reason he gets no bail. Well, that's through the criminal justice system, the court, no bail them. But if the sheriff or the police chief or the constable, the head person, could say, well, they might have let them go, but I let them go.
Yes.
You're no longer employed here. That would send a message throughout the whole department.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking. Man, I'm voting for you, man. I gotta move now. I gotta move to Fort Bend to vote for you. But damn, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. Leadership starts at the top.
It does. It starts at the top. And don't get me wrong, I do agree that we have more good officers than bad. And the problem is the bad officers get all the publicity.
Okay.
And that's a shame. And that is. Now, I would have to say this. I've been an officer for over 34 years with HPD, Houston Police Department. The time I saved a young girl's life, a little baby's life, I did CPR on. I got some publicity, but I didn't get as much publicity as the officers who violate somebody's crime and things like that. They don't publicize that enough. Now, don't get me wrong. They do need to publicize when an officer does something wrong, and we need to act on it. Mm-hmm. And that's from the top. And the citizens, they have a responsibility too. To say that my vote doesn't count, well, no, it does count. Matter of fact, by you not voting, you're voting for those bad officers to stay on the force. Because if you won't change, you have to be a part of that change by taking a stand, by voting.
So how important is it for people to vote in these local elections, especially when you start talking about mayor, you start talking about city comptroller, you're talking about judges, you're talking about sheriffs, you're talking about police chiefs. How important is that? Can you stress that to the audience?
Well, look, the police chief, how you handle that, it is the mayor who selects the police chief, but the citizens select the mayor. If a mayor has a crooked police chief, why would you vote for that mayor again? Right. You change that mayor, and that was in the message. For us, the sheriff and the constable, well, the citizens has that. The citizens have the power to change that. At every election, every 4 years, you can change that. Right.
Right. But it just seems like to me that the citizens, it's like for something to affect the citizens so greatly, they don't have, it seems like many citizens just don't have enough interest in what the results might be.
And see, when situations like that happen in Florida, that should give them reason to have the interest to act. Look, everybody talk about the president, these national elections, people, the president, the congressman, senators. Well, everyday life, the average police officer, the fireman, the deputy, they're involved in your life more than the president. The mayor, city councilman, they affect your everyday life more than what the president does. Mm-hmm. So you have to come out and vote if you want to change.
Right.
And you have to vote for people. Look, Fort Bend County right now is the most diverse county in the country. Houston is becoming the most diverse city in the country. You should have representatives that look like the country we live in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
I'm not saying vote for all African Americans, vote for all Asians, vote for all South Indians. No, I'm not saying that. You vote for the most qualified person. The most qualified. Look at their past records and everything. Like in my race, I'm asking people to compare my record to the current sheriff's records. Don't look at it as Republican or Democrat or as race. Look for the most qualified, the most educated.
Right.
That's what you need there. And you need someone who understands that diversity, they love saying that word, diversity. But diversity without inclusion is meaningless.
Right. If you're just joining us, I'm speaking to Eric Fagan. He is running for sheriff of Fort Bend County. Now, there go the police right there. Oh man. So he's running for sheriff of Fort Bend County, and he's looking to change some things, because I can tell you Fort Bend County also has a history of being a little over aggressive. We're gonna let that sound die out a little bit. Okay, so Fort Bend County also has a history of being over aggressive when it comes to especially Black children. The officers there's been many cases at these schools where they've been over aggressive with Black children and also Hispanic children. And there has been some cases of white kids and Asian kids, but a large part of it is how they treat, you know, Black kids and Hispanic kids. So, and you've been a police officer for how many years again? 34?
34 years.
So in 34 years, have you ever had to give up another officer and say, hey, man, you did this, I can't ride with that? Have you ever had to, you know, give them up and say to your superiors?
The thing is, in those situations, in situations like that, I have worked with officers who I felt they were doing something wrong, but I would stop it before it got too far. And that's what officers need to do.
Right.
Stop it before it goes too far. Like, whoa, it doesn't take all that.
But I think a lot of officers, like what you alluded to earlier when you said a lot of the office leadership starts at the top and you got to take a look at their superiors. So it seems to me that a lot of these cats, they will do what they do because their superiors think it's cool. You know, it's like they don't, some of the stuff that they do, it's like they don't even feel retribution. They do stuff on camera. Somebody can say, I'm filming you. And they'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Film it. I'm filming you, whatever. It's like they don't even care. And I think if you care, it's kind of like when you used to be a kid and somebody catch you doing something, somebody catch you out of pocket, and they say, I'm gonna tell your mama. And you just straighten up real fast because you know mama don't play. So if somebody was like to say, well, you know, I'm gonna tell your boss, you know, film this because you know, I'm gonna tell your superiors, I'm gonna take this to court. And it's like they say, I don't care, do whatever you want. It is because in many cases, their superiors have the same type of attitude and the superiors have given them the green light to act that way.
Correct. And that's correct. That's what I was alluding to.
Right.
It starts at the top. It slows down.
Right.
It slows down. You're absolutely right. I agree with you.
So,
but I will have to say this about Houston, because that's where I work in Houston. In Houston, there's one rule police department follow that I do like. If you lie, you die. And what that means is you can almost, if you make an infraction in Houston as an officer, you make an infraction. I'm not talking about something where somebody's life, an officer put a person's life in danger or kill someone wrongfully or imprison somebody wrongfully. I'm talking about a minor infraction.
Mm-hmm.
If you stand up and say, tell the chief, look, I did this. I'm wrong. I want correction. They'll work with you. But if you lie about that, chiefs they have now and some chief in the past, if you lie about that, you're fired, even if it's a minor infraction.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's what I want to bring to Fort Bend County. I want to bring that tells about character, and that's what you want out there on the force. People with character,
right?
And stuff, and I want to bring cameras, body cameras that have face recognition.
Right.
That'll help the citizen as well as the officer. And what I don't like now is an officer say, well, I forgot to turn on my camera and this is what happened. Well, no. If you wasn't doing anything wrong, that camera shouldn't have been off.
Right. Right.
And you know, and there's nothing wrong with a citizen filming the officer. We have to stop thinking because somebody has a cell phone and filming us that stop that, don't film me. No, we have to change that attitude. I want you to film me because if what I'm doing is right, your phone is showing evidence of that.
Also, if what the citizen is doing is legal, you know, if the citizen is within their legal rights to do something, a police officer should be trying to enforce that right, not try to take that right away.
Right. far enough away, not interfering with the actions that's going on.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
You just stand back far enough away. But for us taking the camera or taking the phone away from them, no.
What's a good distance? What's a good distance to be far away?
100 feet.
100 feet.
100 feet. Your camera has a zoom on it. All you got to do is with your finger, and you're there. And the reason that distance, you don't want to be in the way of the officer where you could actually get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be at least 100 feet away.
Well, I think a lot of times the officer don't want you to be close enough because they don't want you to really see what's happening. Because a lot of them that at least many of the ones that I've seen that have been caught with conducting themselves in the wrong way, it's like a lot of them they don't want you to see them like doing other citizens dirty.
Well, that's what I mean about good or bad officers. If they're doing the right job, they shouldn't care.
Right.
They shouldn't care. If they're not doing what's right, then there's a problem.
Right. So there's nothing
in the law book saying that you can't film an officer.
Right. So you basically answered the question that I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you what were you going to do to basically thwart this police brutality, or at least put some type of dent in it. And your answer was what? Accountability, right?
Accountability. And also on my website, I have a 7-point plan. And one of my plans is to have a citizens review board. Review board. And what that is, you bring people from the community, from all walks of life, from all religions, all races. You bring them in for a citizens review board. Have a 7-person panel. All right. That panel would be an employee from the sheriff's department, non-classified, meaning not an officer, and then 7 citizens. What they would do is they would review controversial situations that happens with the sheriff's department. They would review it, and they would give a finding. Now, the final disposition of that case would always have to lie with the sheriff. That has to be understood. But this would be an actual review panel with teeth. They would be able to see the situation, see what happened, and vote on it, and bring it to the department. So
if the review board is controlled by the sheriff, how is that accountability if the sheriff is crooked?
That's going back to the voting again. Look, I'm an African American. I'm a Houston police officer, one of the highest decorated officers. I was given the Officer of the Year award 3 times. That was the highest award given to an officer. Mm-hmm. So they know me. But still, when I get pulled over, I'm still a black man. When I get pulled over, I get nervous.
Right.
I get nervous because I know what happens. But I know what to do. All right. So I know when someone tells me, hey, look, I was pulled over and I was asked the question, is this your car? What do you see in the penal code? I have to ask you, is this your car? What's the reason you pulled me over? Did you pull me over just because I was driving a nice car? So
with an answer like that, then a lot of times that irritates cops. Now once the cop becomes irritated.
But see, as sheriff, I understand that when somebody tells me, they pull me over and ask me, well, I understand that. My question is to that officer is, if that person was a Caucasian, older Caucasian, would you ask them when you first pulled them over, is this your car?
Yeah, probably not.
No, probably not. I had that question asked me before.
And how did you answer? Did you answer that question and immediately say, "Hey, I'm a cop"?
Well, no. What I asked, my next question was, "You pull me over for that reason? To ask me, is this my car? What was the reason you pulled me over?" That was my question. And the reason he pulled me over was a legit reason. But that goes to dealing with the public. He didn't know the proper way. He didn't think that was an offensive question. But as an African American driving a nice car, and you pull me over because you think I did a rolling at a stop sign, but you didn't ask me about the stop sign. You asked me, "Is this my car? Is this your vehicle?" Like, what?
Well, he probably
my plate.
He probably didn't think it was an offensive question because he feels like he can just say anything that he wants to a black person.
Right. And then someone in the who's the sheriff or the police chief who's never had that racial tension put on them, they wouldn't even think it would be an offensive question. They were like, well, you just want to know if that was your car. But that's offensive to us.
Right.
We work just like anyone else out there do. We can work and have nice things too.
Yeah.
So they don't understand why that's like you said, offensive, but it is.
So let's read. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. What I wanted to do, I just wanted to get back to the excessive force with the kids. So in your mind, a lot of this is gonna come back down to you. If you become sheriff of Fort Bend County, a lot of this stuff is going to fall on your desk. These type of cases are going to fall on your desk. They're going to be looking at you because at the end of the day, a lot of these people, are going to be, employed by you. They're going to be under you. And I'm not just talking. I'm not necessarily talking about the officers who the school resource officers, the SROs. I'm talking about the ones who are out there on the street, being very, very, aggressive with the children. And they're being aggressive with everybody, but it's just when you see them being aggressive with these children, then you know that okay, we're occupied, we're being occupied. So what is it? So what is it will you do if the good people of Fort Bend County said Eric Fagan is our man? We're going to vote for Eric Fagan. He is our man. I believe in him, and I believe that he is the guy to take us into the future. What is it that you would do specifically to curb the aggression that police officers display with our children?
What I would do is this. First, let me say this. There are a lot of good deputies that work for Fort Bend County. There's a lot of good deputies that work there. But what I will do and what I'm going to do is have a de-escalation plan, how to handle people, how to talk to individuals of all races, of all cultures, how to address them. It's one thing. Look, it's like this. In a community, people might want to drive around looking for a house and things like that. And then you get someone call in and say, there's somebody in my neighborhood and they're just driving around slow and looking at cars. Well, if the officer have proper training, what they could do is this. When I stop that car, I'll come up to the car, pull them over, and they probably just that innocently, just looking for a home to live in. I will let them know, look, when I stopped, the reason I stopped you, sir or ma'am, is because I had a call of a suspicious car. I'm just stopping you to see if you need any help, trying to find something around here or anything like that. If not, sir or ma'am, I'll be in this neighborhood right now. If you need any help, let me know. Have a nice day.
Now let me ask you this. Do you have to pull somebody over to say that? Do you have to get behind me, hit me with the lights, hit me with the beams, and get out your car, got me going through the whole routine of, damn, I hope you ain't finna try to execute me. Can you pull up on the side of me and talk out your window? Give me some, because I ain't did nothing. I mean, I'm innocent.
Well, two things on that one. No, I would not pull up to the side of your window. I wouldn't, because that's dangerous for me or you. You have to understand, a traffic stop is one of the most dangerous stops for an officer. It's the most dangerous because we could be stopping somebody just for a tail light out. That person in that car may have just did an aggravated robbery at a grocery store. We won't know that, and they shot and killed someone. We don't know that, but the person driving that car, they know it. So when they come up, I'm stopping you because you have a tail light out. You think I'm stopping you because they shot and killed somebody. Mm-hmm. Who's at the disadvantage then? I am. So no, I wouldn't pull up to any side of the car and say, roll down. I wouldn't do that. What
Well,
I'm saying is, if somebody calls in for something, a suspicious car, and gives your license plate, yeah, by right, I can't stop your car. But what I'm saying is this: you didn't break any law. You didn't do anything wrong. Somebody just said you was a suspicious person in their neighborhood driving up and down. When I stopped you, all I'm gonna say is, sir, do you need help, or can I help you look for something, anything like that? If and you say no, I don't need any help, and say, okay, well, somebody called in, they were concerned, but sir, I'm gonna be in this neighborhood. If you need any help, please let me know. I'm gonna let you go, and you're gonna be on your way.
Well, check this, but check this out though. I can appreciate, you know, the courtesy, the way your tone of voice, like the way you saying you would say it, like, you know, like especially if you offered to help me, like you said, look, I'm pulling you over because somebody, you know, called about a suspicious car in the neighborhood, but you know, I'm just, you know, I'm also here to help you. You know, is there anything I can do? You're looking for somebody, you know, you lost or whatever. I can appreciate that courtesy, but I can appreciate more if I'm totally innocent, man. Leave me alone. Why don't you just pull up and let me see your presence? If I am a suspicious person, if I am, then what difference is it going to make if you pull me over and I say, if I lie, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna either lie, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Either way, I'm gonna go on about my business. So if you just pull me up, if you just pull up and I see the cop car, if I'm up to no good, I'm gonna leave. If I see the cop car and I'm up to good, I'm gonna continue to do what I'm doing.
Right, but you have to look at it this way, Will. Two things. One, if you are up to no good, my body camera is on. So that's the reason I'm gonna stop you and come up to your car. I'm not gonna give you a ticket. I'll hold you for no more than 5 minutes. I don't need to see your ID because you didn't do anything wrong. All I'm saying is, do you need help? You have to look at it two ways. It's for my safety and your safety.
Man, I'm looking at it from a black man standpoint.
Right.
Anytime we get, you know, as a black man, you know, because you just talked about it earlier.
Yes.
You know, as a black man, when we get pulled over, that is one of the most anxiety-filled moments of our whole life each time. Like, because we don't know if that fool that got the chip on his shoulder, we don't know. So just a cop getting behind you, man, leave me alone.
Right, but we still have to do our job because black, white, Hispanic, Indian, Asian, whatever. You could be a person that is about to do something wrong. By me just stopping you and letting you know that I'm here, all I said was, do you need help? You can even have an attitude. No, I don't need any help. Why you stop me? I told you why I stopped you. I just want to see if you need any help. Somebody called in, not to see any help. So you're free to go. But I'll let you know that I'm in this neighborhood. If you need some help, I'll be here.
But how do you handle?
Like you said, if you're doing something wrong, then you're gonna cut out and leave.
But how do you handle all of these white women, specifically white women? Sometimes it's white men, but specifically white women. How do you handle all of these white women calling the police on black people for just being black? Yeah, when you call, I keep hearing cops say, we gotta go. I keep hearing cops say, we gotta go check it out. But you go check it out, and then you find out it's about something, ain't got nothing to do with nothing, and you're wasting the same people that's talking about Jesse Smollett wasting Chicago police officers' resources, and he needs to go to jail, but they ain't talking about all these women out here calling the police on black people for nothing, for just being black. They're not getting punished. They're not going to jail for using up police resources. How do you deal with them?
And see, that goes to dispatch. That's training for dispatch. When they called in, that lady who complained on the gentleman that was barbecuing, or the little kid with lemonade, that's dispatch. The dispatchers need to be trained. If you call in for something like that, the dispatcher can say, that is not a police matter, ma'am.
Right.
If that's all you have, that's going to dispatch. And it's training with the police. The police can now, don't get me wrong, dispatch has the authority of the chief or the sheriff. The deputy has to answer that call. But that deputy, when he hears a call like that, he can let the
Mm-hmm.
They'll let them know, no, that's not a police matter.
Okay. All right.
And
I dig it. Okay,
that's
so
with dispatch.
I dig that. Okay, these dispatches, from now on, I'm gonna be on y'all ass. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Dispatches, be aware, beware. Dispatches, beware. Hey, Eric, man, thank you, man, for coming on the show, man. Tell the people how they can get in contact with you and how they can support your campaign.
Please tell them, please go to my website, www.faginforsheriff2020.com. All one word, www.faginforsheriff2020.com. You can volunteer or donate at that website. I'm going to be having events and other actions in Fort Bend County. Please look for them. And thank you so much for calling me and speaking to me. I really do appreciate it.
My man, thanks, man. And I'm gonna stay close to you, man. I'm gonna follow your campaign, man, and see what it do. See if I can help you. All right?
All right.
Take care, man.
Much. God bless.
All right. Eric Fagan, y'all. What's up? That was a good interview, y'all. That was real good. A lot of valuable information. I like to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. That's how we talk in Texas, the horse's mouth. I like to hear that, from the people that's on the inside, because, it gives you some type of insight on what really goes on and how they think. So let me get back to y'all on the comments. If you're just joining, the way we do it, you leave your name. You let me know what your name is. You let me know what your city, what state you're representing. If you're outside of the US, let me know what country you're representing so I can give you your proper due, give you shout outs. If you want to skip the line, you can use the super chat, and that will make sure your question get answered or your statement gets read. Let's see who we got here. Who we got? Sunshine Goddess. Thanks. What's up, Sunshine? Yeah, I like that. I really enjoyed that interview. A lot of real good information. Saginaw, Michigan in the building. Regal Baby 82. What up? I see you, John Lewis. Mia Evans. What's up, Mia? Trying to send a good friend of mine some information right quick. Yeah. Who we got here? Who in the house? Who in the building? Who in the building? Alana James. What's up, Alana? Steve Biko. Let's see. What's up, Queen Jet? Nisi in the building. Nisi, that's my sister's name. Well, that's a nickname. Funky Town be checking in. What's up, Proud 730? San Antonio in the building, Anthony Neal. SA, that's where my homeboy Bruce from. Y'all know Bruce Bray out there in San Antonio. Rashad Law, Mobile, Alabama. Word. Alabama Crimson Tide. Ben Baker, what up? So Ray says my internet connection is unstable. How is that? I got the highest level you can get. Mr. Tony Levitt, what up? Duval. What's up, Jessica Daniels? Belinda Washington. My homeboy used to date this girl named Belinda back in the day. My partner Lee. All right, y'all. Everybody, welcome Tariq Nasheed to the show.
What's going on, fam?
What's up, homie?
How's everything going, bro?
Oh man, it's all good. You know, I can't complain. It ain't my style.
No doubt, no doubt.
How you feel, King?
I'm a little hoarse still. I'm still a little hoarse. I did my broadcast last night. I was struggling through it, but I got a few minutes for you to talk of game with you.
Right. So yeah, man, I really like to just have a conversation with you about the excessive force these cops been using against our children, specifically our Black children. Now I've seen them manhandle a couple of other kids that were not Black, a few other kids that were not Black, but it seems like they got like a green light to smash on our kids. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, we got to understand this in the whole context of it, man. All of us, Black males, Black people in general, and Black males in particular, we are under attack very heavily right now. And there's a green light to get us on every angle, from the youngest to the oldest. It's starting off now with all these vaccines. Right now, they're making it mandatory to give vaccines to people. I know in New York, they're trying to push some stuff out here in Los Angeles, well, not Los Angeles, but California, and they're trying to find. Wenches and Manny's running around here with these toxic masculinity tours, talking about it's toxic to be masculine, and if you are a person who's out here trying to date women, well, you better beware of sexual harassment lawsuits, and they're talking about promoting cuddle parties at these colleges. So it's a real heavy thing. I'm looking in the chat room. They're saying they can they hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, because I was hearing people in the chat room saying that the sound is gone. Hold on a second. I think. Let me see. Let me double check.
Well, let me double check too.
Okay.
Let me double check too.
Okay, it's buffering. I think it's buffering. Okay, it's buffering. But, okay. They can. Okay, some people say they can hear. Some people say they can't. But if you say the sound is good, the sound is good. But when it comes to these race soldiers stomping out our children like that, they're doing that now because we have to understand law enforcement has been fully infiltrated by these white supremacist groups, and they have thrown the rule of law out the door. Mm-hmm. This is why it's important for Black people. We have to start enforcing the law. We're afraid to enforce the law because we're like, okay, well, somebody's going to get us. Somebody's going to do something to us. The Constitution states that if there's a tyranny situation, you can form militia groups and protect the integrity of the Constitution. Right. We have to have that kind of mindset. It's up to Black people to protect our families, our livelihood, and our communities, because nobody's going to do it for us. There's no white mommy, white daddy that's going to come down and save us. There's no politician that's talking about helping us, all the people in law enforcement, they've been infiltrated by white supremacists. So we're going to have to save ourselves, and we're going to have to take the law not into our own hands, but enforce the laws that's already on the books. We just have to enforce the law. Law enforcement, so-called police, they're not doing it because they've been infiltrated by race soldiers. Shooting people in the back and beating up children, that's not on the books. That's not the law. They're using I'm white, not face. So it's up to us to enforce this stuff.
Right.
It's just that simple, and we got to stop being afraid to do that. This is why we talk about why this doesn't happen to white children. It doesn't happen to white children, number one, because white people, the average white citizen, they will not allow it to happen. They will take the law in their own hands. They will say, hey, I'm going to go
Stop,
save that person.
stop. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that a citizen in this country, when they're violated outside of the law, when they're violated and they feel like the law is not working for them, it's not working as it's intended to work, and they get violated, you're saying that they basically will take a weapon and enforce the law themselves?
You look at Clive and Bundy and all those dudes. Did you see them? When they told Clive and Bundy and all those dudes what they couldn't do, they said, the hell we can't. We'll go up against you. You can't tell us what to damn do and what we can't do, and we feel like we have a right to do it. They'll go up against them at the drop of a hat. Out there in Texas, where you are, those bikers, those white bikers were going toe-to-toe with law enforcement for law enforcement trying to tell them what to do, and they got all their charges dropped. What is that? They got
177 arrests, 9 murdered, 20 injured, shootout with the police, not one person held accountable.
Absolutely. And the reason why, because they will bring it to them. They ain't gonna sit up and let themselves get abused by the system, because they understand freedom and they value freedom. So they said it's freedom or death. If we can't have justice for us and going to treat us unjust, well, there's no reason to live. We'll die fighting. We don't have that mentality no more. We used to have that because, look, in the 60s and 70s, they mess with us. You had stuff like the zebra killings up there in the Bay Area. You had a lot of Black Panther organizations going after the system for trying to violate them. So they backed off. Even out here in LA, going up into 92, you couldn't abuse Black people like that too much, because Black people will say, hey, enough is enough. You kill a Black kid like they killed Natasha Harling out there in South Central LA. They let the Asian woman off. So the people in the neighborhood said, well, look, you ain't gonna have no store no more. So they got rid of that store and got them out the neighborhood. It's just that simple. So now we got this whole thing where they started to attack masculinity. They start saying that being a masculine Black person is toxic. So now we got skinny jean, moist booty and culture. So now when it's time to handle business, everybody want to whip out a goddamn cell phone and start yelling and giggling and all in world stuff instead of putting in work. So that's why they keep attacking us, because we gotta, they neutralize the warrior class. So we got to get that warrior class back and abide by the Constitution, and we have a right to protect ourselves by any means necessary.
Talk black man. Talk black man. Man, what do you say about the women who fear this type of talk? Because I know a number of Black women who are subject to this same abuse. Their children are subject to this abuse. And it's almost like they're just sitting back hoping it doesn't happen to them. And if it does, they don't really have a plan. But when there's somebody like you speak in that type of tone, in an authoritative tone, in a manly tone, in a protective tone, it's like it scares them.
Yeah, it does, man, because see, we think that we're going to just kind of cruise by in captivity like we did in slavery. There's a lot of women out here thinking that, okay, I might just bed wench my way through this thing and everything's going to be all right. And as we know, we see a lot of these women out here with these white dudes, and they end up missing, and then nothing happens to the white dude. I keep seeing this over and over again. That whole thing when you think you're going to lay up with a white zaddy and you're going to be safe, nah, because they killing y'all too. And you hang around with your white homegirls like that sister out there in Atlanta. This sister went over there and had a slumber party with some white women, ended up dead, and nobody got charged, not even investigated. These people are waging war on all of us. Children aren't safe, men aren't safe, and women aren't safe. Sisters, you are danger when you're around these white folks by your damn self. You are in major, major danger, and the only people who are going to protect you are black men.
So you saying the dudes that wear skinny jeans with their booty out and the booty crack showing and stuff, and the ones who got to lay on the floor, squeeze into their pants, them dudes ain't gonna help.
These, as we see, we see sisters get beat up on camera. I see sisters get beat up in these nail salons, and these little moist dudes standing around with a camera phone. I mean, come on, that ain't gonna cut it. Trying to film it and get internet clout, that's what we value instead of valuing protecting our communities and protecting our people. I'm saying this to black folks: if you see a sister, especially a black man, you don't ever sit there and just stand there and watch her get beat up by somebody, especially if it's a white or an Asian person. They would never do that with you. If you're out there harming a white woman, they're gonna come see you. They're gonna come get at you. So we gotta have that.
You know what, Tariq? Saying that, even the weakest looking white dude to get at you. He'll throw his body in front of you like, no, dude, you're wrong. You know, he'll do something. He'll risk getting beat up, getting shot, whatever. He's gonna risk it.
Absolutely. They jump in. They're not gonna just sit there and let you jump on the white person unjustly. Even if it's just, they're not gonna let you.
Even if it's just, they're not gonna let you do it.
Real talk, exactly.
Well, so where did these dudes come from? Because it almost seemed like I woke up one day and they just magically appeared out of nowhere. Like, cause I don't remember those type of dudes growing up. Like, I wasn't raised around those type of dudes.
See, what that started in the mid-90s. In the mid-90s, right after the LA riot, I was talking about this yesterday, man, right after the LA riots, they saw black men still having that warrior spirit. So what they started to do, if you notice in the mid-90s, we started to see a lot of black men in dresses. We started to see the Joanna Mans, the Wandas, the Shanae, the Nutty Professor. There was an influx of black men and movies and television and dresses. Then outside of that, in sports, we started to see the Dennis Rodmans. They started to put black men in dresses.
And celebrating it.
Yeah, and putting them all over the place, and all of the media outlets saying, hey, this is what's in, this is what's cool, let's give these guys shine. So kids are impressionable. So we like clout, especially young kids or some black boy. You see that, you see somebody wearing some lipstick and makeup and some rouge, and you're like, well, damn, if I do that, I'll be good. And they've been cultivating that. So then they started to slowly seep it into hip hop. So now we got dudes out here getting on stage with tongue rings and nipple rings and booty tattoos and all types of stuff. And they normalize that. And now we think that that's the cool thing to do. That's the cool thing to be. And now we got all of these white feminist movements saying that being a masculine black man is toxic. Being a masculine black man is wrong. Being sexually attracted to women, it's dangerous. You might get charged with a sex crime. So that scares a lot of dudes into saying, well, hell, I might as well put on some booty shorts and some boots and paint my nails and just kind of be safe if I'm feminine. And that's the message that's being sent to a lot of young boys out here. And that's not the case, because the thing is, if you are a gay black man or a moist black man or whatever, then you got to deal with the Ed Bucks of the world. You go over there to Ed Buck's house and then you end up dead. Then what you gonna do? So there is no sanctuary from systematic white supremacy.
Right. Ain't nowhere to hide. It's nowhere to hide your hidden colors, buddy. You can't. You can't. Now, and if you haven't seen Hidden Colors, you know, Tariq is the director, the creator of this. What is this? Is it called a series, a saga? What is it called? What do you call it?
I like saga. It can be a saga.
It's a saga.
We're on the fifth one.
It's a saga. Hidden Colors, man. If you haven't checked that out, you got to check it out. And it's no holds barred. It's a lot of information. He interviews the best speakers. I mean, just some of the best people of our time, best voices of our time is in that saga in the various episodes of that saga, man. So y'all make sure you check that out. So I know you got to go, Tariq, but what about? I just want to get a little bit more information on your feelings directly about, or your thoughts directly about the excessive force that cops use on our children. And you saying first and foremost, where these daddies got to step up. Trayvon Martin had a daddy. So I hear people saying all the time, well, Zimmerman's still living. Y'all want to do something to each other. What about Zimmerman? First and foremost, Zimmerman is Trayvon's daddy's responsibility. Like you said, if the law is not about taking the law into your own hand, it's about enforcing the law that's already on the books. Like, just in my mind, justice denied is one of the greatest tragedies in life. Justice denied. If I can't get justice, man, then I feel inadequate as a human being. And so I'm not going to be right. That's not going to sit right with me until it's made right. So you spoke about the man, black men, being masculine, stepping up to the plate and protecting their own. Like, if the police ain't working for you, if the law ain't working for you, then you got to go and make it work for yourself. So
absolutely.
What policies, though, besides that, besides that form of justice, what policies do you think that needs to be put in place to circumvent some of this interaction that police have with our children?
What we have to do, black folks, we have to learn how to pool our money so that we can control the politicians. See, we like to trick our money off on all kinds of nonsense, but when it comes to empowerment, all of a sudden we want somebody else to take care of that. We have to use our money to put these mayors and sheriffs and police chiefs in office. We use our money to counter these police unions. These police unions, we're really the main ones behind a lot of these murders, because a lot of these murders happen.
Exactly.
These race soldiers get on the hot seat. They call their police union chief first. So and these people run their game like a whole vigilante group. They're like a whole mafia group. So we have to learn how to counter them and learn how to bust up those groups with our political clout. This is why when we vote for politicians, we have to vote specifically for policies that's going to affect Black Americans. When we get into the voting booth, we're told we got to be some kumbaya thing, and we got to support all these immigrant groups and all these other special interest groups, and all these groups get the benefits over us, and we don't get them. So we have to look out for us first and look out for our communities financially, so that we can use our money to get these people out of office or into office. That's one thing. And it's also important that we control the businesses in our communities. We can't let all these other groups come in and set up shop in our communities and funnel all the money out and funnel all the resources out, because they get protection with that money. That's why you don't see them killing Arabs, and they don't kill Asians, because they got money from us. All their money basically comes from us for the most part, and they get protection. We need that money to protect our communities. Financial, economic basis, that's the most important thing that we overlook as Black people. We have to have a financial base, because without money, we cannot control these politicians. So either you're going to have money, or you're going to have a fearless heart. So we're going to have either one or the other, or both.
Right. So you can't, it's that there is no in between. You got to listen to what he just said, especially the men. You got to have money or a fearless heart. All that other shit some of y'all out there doing, kill yourself, because you ain't helping the case at all. You ain't helping the situation at all. Money or a fearless heart. And if you got both, oh man, you own to something.
Yes, indeed.
Tariq, man, thank you for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Everybody go to buckbreakingmovie.com. Support the new film we're working on after Hidden Colors. After Hidden Colors come out, we're working on a movie called Buck Breaking that talks about a lot of what we're talking about now. Go to buckbreakingmovie.com, family, and support that. And I appreciate you, Willie, man. Much love to you, brother.
For sure, man, for sure. And y'all make sure y'all support Tariq, because Tariq is a soldier. And he puts it on the line time and time and time again. He's not afraid to speak his mind. He's not afraid to tell the truth about what's going on out there. Y'all know anytime you're a truth speaker or a truth seeker, you're going to be attacked. Just like anybody you can think of in the past that you consider to be a hero, a seeker of justice, a warrior. They've all been attacked and come under great scrutiny. Some have been even murdered, because bottom line is that the people that run this place, man, the people that are at the very top, they're wicked. I hate to bust your bubble, y'all. I know some of y'all just be praying and y'all think it's going to be okay because you pray. What Hammer used to say, we got to pray just to make it today. Some of y'all think we just got to pray to make it today. I think not. I say action speaks louder than words. And if you want change, you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice something. Let me get back to see what y'all see, checking out what y'all are saying out here. Tariq, man, that was a good interview, man. I appreciate you, man. But Tariq be on it. You know how you know Tariq be on it? Because he got black enemies. Anytime you're a black person and you speaking up for black people and you got enemies that are black. Whoo, man. Oh, man. What a night. Lamont Roberts says, let's go back to Africa, but they'll kill us. Damn. Who told you that? I shouldn't have even read that, man. But sometimes you got to read the stupid shit, you know. That's just the. Oh, I guess he's probably being sarcastic. So maybe I'll you know what? Since I don't really understand where you're coming from, and that text message has no emotions, so I guess I'll digress and I'll back up off that statement I just made. I retract my statement because I don't really know what you mean by that. So let's see. Texas say Chuck D all day, every day. Yes. The rhythm, the rebel without a pause. I'm lowering my level. Chuck D, that's my dog. Prince Hall. Hey, if you're just joining, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the US, let me know what country. If you have a handle where the words are kind of scrambled or the letters are scrambled and it's hard to make out, go ahead on and leave your name also so I can make sure I give you your proper. Kevin Hadley, H-Town in the building. I see Colorado up in here. I like what Tariq said about making sure that the law gets enforced. He said, you know, you're not saying take the law into your own hands. Not saying take the law into your own hands. Saying make sure the law gets enforced by any means necessary. Miss Vicky, Milwaukee, what up? What's up, West Virginia? Sunshine and Goddess, Sunshine Goddess. Hampton, VA in the building. What's up, Reginald Banks? Angela Della Rocha, East LA. LA back to back up in here. Moved to LA. We're in the last days, Willie. Perhaps. I see you, Smoke Dog. Miami-Dade, that's what that super chat do, just pop you right up in the front. Miami-Dade County by way of Overtown. Ooh, that Overtown is something else, man. Man, I hope y'all coming together in Overtown, man. I hope you're reaching back out, man, trying to help the ones who's still out there that can't help everybody. Juiced Up say officers are KKK and white supremacy seeds, hired as cops. They're wearing cloaks. You damn straight they are. That's the only way to explain it. They gotta be white supremacists or white extremists. Yeah, they got to be. They gotta be racist to allow them to get away with the things that they do, to have them even on the force. Some of those cops been on the force for years and years and years, and it don't take 5, 10, 15 years for them to start cutting up. By the time we catch them on something, maybe it's 5, they've been on the force 20 years, 15 years or whatever, 10 years. But believe you me, they start cutting up right away. In fact, because a lot of them go to the academy, they join the force so they can cut up. They go in there strictly so they can break the law. They join in the police department to break the law. They're not going in there to uphold the law and protect the neighborhoods and make the citizens feel safe. They're going in to break the law. Chattanooga, Tennessee representing. Berkeley, California in the building. NYC up in here. Peace, Detroit. C. Welch. DJ Tuned Up. What up, DJ Tuned Up? Tony Battles. Says, I believe in Florida, they wipe their records away. Every 3 to 5 years, a disciplinary record, they wipe it away. I need to look into that. What's up, John Craig? Warner Robins, Georgia, in the house. Man, okay, so Ferguson in the building. Man, how did y'all let Michael Brown's mother lose that councilwoman seat? That should have been a slam dunk. It's what, like, isn't Ferguson like 70, 80% black? That should have been a slam dunk. How could she not have won? She definitely got experience with the law after what happened to her family, to her son. She definitely got experience with the system, with dealing with the system. What's up, Lori Brown? Crenshaw all day long. Crenshaw in the building. Nipsey Hussle. Man, I can't stop thinking about my dog, Nipsey, man. I put a video out earlier, y'all. If y'all didn't see it, I was speaking on some clown who said, some fool on my Instagram was like, why y'all celebrate Nipsey? We supposed to celebrate him just because he a rapper? People die every day. Yeah, people die every day. But legends don't die every day. And we're not celebrating Nipsey because he's a rapper. We celebrate Nipsey Hussle because he's a rapper that cared about the people. We're celebrating Nipsey Hussle because he made the sacrifices. He was an example of what we teach and we preach of our young men to be. That's why we celebrate Nipsey Hussle. He was a family man, a businessman, self-made, loving father, son. Man, come on, man. You can go on and on with Nip. Just an all-around good dude. So that's why we celebrate Nipsey Hussle. Don't you ever in your life fix your mind, your little Twitter fingers, your mouth to ever try to compare Nip to just some damn rapper. He was way more than a rapper. That's why we celebrate Nipsey Hussle. Big shout out to Trey, Trey the Truth, for putting on the tribute out in Houston. Yeah, big shout out, man. Had to support that. Joshua Johnson, what's up, Josh? Appreciate you, JJ. Seth Jones, Florida in the building. Y'all forgive me. I be snapping. I get emotional when you start Talking about the homie, man. Yeah. Yeah. Who told you that? DJ Rex said nobody knew who he was outside of Cali. Who told you that? Where you get that from? You must been living under a rock. You probably on the wrong channel, dog. You totally misinformed. Well, you know what? You're on the right channel. This is where you come to get you. This is where you come to get informed. If you're misinformed, stay right here, man. Just bear with us, and you're gonna learn something around here. We ain't just on here talk flash money and taking pictures and slapping booties and all that. We ain't doing all that, man. You know, just showing off cars and talking reckless about silly little beefs, all that old corny shit, that clown stuff. We don't do that around here. You come over here, you're gonna get some information. You're gonna get some news you can use. I can guarantee it's plenty of channels you can go to on this YouTube and find that goofy stuff. Detroit, West Side, what up? What up? 26 Grant J. DJ D Rex said, this is a good point. DJ Rex said, I've been playing music for over 10 years. Nobody never asked for his music. Sorry, he was killed, but David Banner and Killer Mike been on the give back. Okay, so DJ Rex, you say nobody ever asked for Nip music. Okay, this is the same guy that was a little earlier. So you say nobody asked for Nip music. What that mean? It depends on where you was. Nip was an underground sensation. This is the same dude who sold 1,000 records for $100 a piece. So he didn't have the big ass record sales and the big old, you know, the huge fan bases. Like he didn't have the kind of fan base, the big fan bases like Killer Mike and David Banner, who had the platinum records and all that type of stuff. Nip just put his first studio album out in February. Nip been grinding for like 20 years, independent. So he has a cult following. Nip has a cult following. I'm not saying that Mike don't and David don't, because they do. But Nip never got that commercial success. He never had commercial success. And he was still able to make a huge impact. That alone should make somebody pay attention and say, damn, you know, maybe I'm missing something here. You gotta be missing something if you don't feel that impact. We've seen many people die. Think about what I'm saying, dude. We've seen many rappers die. We've seen rappers die who were bigger than Nip, and you didn't see that type of outpouring. And I don't mean to compare deaths, but you know, Nip was on it, man. You know, if some rappers talked about it and Nip did it. You see? You can do all that. You can do a lot of talking. This is a whole nother thing to do it. So Nip did it. That's why Nip is revealed. And when David Banner is so trying to, you know, compare, you can't compare the living to the dead, bro. You know, when somebody died, of course, people, whatever happened, you know, of course they're gonna make the news. They're gonna be at the top of the news when somebody dies who is a celebrity or who has any kind of fame. They're gonna be at the top of the news cycle. That's just what's gonna happen. And The more that they've done in their time on earth, the more those deeds are going to be shared. People find out, oh, so people are finding out this dude did this, he did this, is that. How many other people do you know besides people who just made music have done what he has done, especially with so little? You know, he got it from the mud. He ain't getting no big old record contract, no $1 million here, $500,000 here. He got it from the mud. So when it's David time or Killer Mike time, you better believe they're going to be celebrated. I can't tell you to what extent, because I couldn't have envisioned that people would freak out and be, you know, this emotional about Nip's death. I couldn't have predicted that. I don't believe Nip could have predicted that his funeral would be held at the Staples Center. That's a big deal. So when it's Mike time or when it's David time, I mean, they're going to get the same type of reverence, you know, because they both have put in work. They put in a considerable amount of work, and they are necessary. You can't never discredit Mike or David's work. Yeah, definitely necessary. And when they die, you're going to hear people speaking about them who never even knew their music, even though they achieved a great deal of success. There are still people that have never heard their music, but they will hear it upon their death, because that's what happens. You die, you're a celebrity, you're a rapper, they're gonna play your music all day. All stations gonna be playing anything you had, they're gonna be playing your music, the videos gonna be popping out, people gonna be sharing photos and stuff. That's how we do. We know we say, don't, you know, give people their flowers while they're alive, don't wait till they die. We know that, but y'all know that ain't reality, man. It's not reality. DJ D-Rex, got family members you ain't seen in years. When they die, you're gonna go to their funeral. I bet you that. You see what I mean? So I think it seemed like to me, dog, you're doing a little hating though, dog. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. So you might need to just take a look at that, because I know you don't really want to be a hater, but it kind of sounds like to me you're doing a little hating, dog. Roland Markland said, Nipsey bought the block and employed his people. Yep. Yeah, Mike doing stuff like that too. Mike buying the block, employing his people. I don't know what David Banner's situation is, you know, what he's doing on the business side, but I know he's doing a hell of a lot in the community. I know that for a fact. And I know his voice is necessary. Business-wise, I don't know what he's up to, but definitely necessary. And I can guarantee you, you know, in the event of either one of their demise, you're going to be hearing people who didn't know who they were sharing memes and saluting and praising them and taking a special interest in them, because that's just how we do when people pass. That's just what we do as human beings. That's the way we're wired. King's mommy say David Banner is doing it in Mississippi. Yeah. I need to have that discussion, man, because I did talk to David about, I talked to David today. I think I talked to David today or yes. Was it yesterday? I can't even remember, y'all. It seemed like the days are just kind of blend in together. I think I may have spoken to David yesterday. I can't remember. Anyway, David, good people. That's my dog. Very necessary. Josh say, Will, I have information on 2 crypto cryptocurrencies that's backed by 999.9% gold and getting ready to explode starting the 4th of July. Mr. Real Spill. Backed by 99.9% gold. It's getting ready to explode. 2 cryptocurrencies. All right, share. Because you can't get that, you can't get to the money unless the people know. Mr. Real Spill, what is that, IG? Okay, I see you. All right, shoot me a message. George Parker, Willie, I want you to do a feature. One of the super chats kick you off. Feature on the school where I'm currently a high school principal. White supremacists are popping out of works, even public education. So sad. Shoot me a message at mail@WillieDLive, mail@WillieDLive. I'm not Willie D. Live, WillieD.com. Mail@WillieD.com. Let me see what you're talking about. What's up, John Craig? John Craig said, you're so correct, Willie. Like Heavy D, who was a legend himself, but Nipsey touched the world by the way he lived, loved, and lifted up others. Yeah, that's a perfect example because Heavy D was revered. Heavy D was loved. I mean, he loved immensely, but you just didn't see that type of response, when Heavy D died. And of course, it also could have something to do with the way Heavy D died. Heavy D died of, I believe, a heart attack, natural causes, something along those lines. And Nipsey Hussle was gunned down, and the world saw the video, and it was tragic. And so that also played a huge part in it. I think if Nipsey would have just passed away, perhaps it would not have been that type of reaction. But the fact that the world saw Nipsey gunned down, and we have this image embedded in our minds, and I can't shake it. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday about this, and I couldn't shake it. I was talking to Chingy, in fact, about this yesterday. And I think Chingy brought up his name, and I just immediately got depressed. And we both were like, yeah, man, it hit me like that. So Chingy does a tribute. If you get a chance to check out that Millennium Tour, Chingy does a tribute to Nipsey. Real cool. Chingy still got it, man. Chingy got a hell of a show too. So y'all get a chance to check out that Millennium Tour. Check out Chingy. What's up, Henry Collins? Appreciate you. Reginald Smith says, Black people do not stick together. Okay, Reg, I'm with you on that. I agree with that. But that's one of those things like, what's understood ain't got to be said, right? It's like, I personally don't read those type of comments. I don't really pay attention to those type of comments on my YouTube or my Instagram or Facebook because, like I said, what's understood ain't got to be said. I really can't stand when people just use social media to criticize Black people. Like, to me, it's totally unnecessary. Like, we already know we got flaws, right? Just like other ethnicities know they have flaws. But you don't see other ethnicities you never see white people on social media saying white people don't stick together, or white people are crazy, or white people are terrorists. White people do this, or white people do that. White people are racist. You don't see that. You don't see Mexicans saying stuff about Mexicans, bad things about Mexicans. You know, you don't hear Asian people saying bad things about Asians. You don't read that type of information. So Black people, try to refrain from criticizing Black people specifically, at generalizing, like making generalizations about Black people. That's what I'm talking about. I think individually, yeah, if some of you got a problem with somebody, you want to criticize them, that's fine. But to make a sweeping generalization about Black people that's negative is counterproductive, and it only serves our detractors and people who just hate us. That's the way I see it. Diana Judah, love you back, V8. I need to get over to Virginia, man. Virginia got some beautiful women. Good God. I'm just talking, yeah, I ain't gonna do nothing, man. I don't even be like that. Yeah, I be working too much. I work. What's up, Mark C? Appreciate you. But Virginia does have some beautiful women. Does it have anything to do with DC and Baltimore being right around that area? Terry Miller, what up, 505? Good point, TM1 says, many of us do get along. You did? Good point. It's like when people make generalizations saying things like, you know, Black people are, you know, we're not successful or poor or whatever. Man, do you understand that Black people were enslaved for over 200 years, and we've only been like free for like just over 60 years or so. And we have so many people doing well. Like, success is not always measured by how much money you have or how much fame that you have. There have been millions and millions and millions of successful Black people who just got up, went to work, took care of their business, probably didn't even graduate school, middle school, but put their children through school, kept their children out of trouble. Kids didn't go to prison, didn't nobody get gunned down, children respectful, grandchildren respectful, and just, you know, have a nice, decent life and work nice, respectable or moderate jobs. And they're doing well. To me, that's success. That's successful to me. I think a lot of times we get caught up in big money. I say if you can make money, make as much as you can. But in the meantime, if you are, you know, taking care of your business, taking care of your responsibilities, and you're productive, you stand out of the way in terms of that system, man, that's success to me. I don't know what kind of boss some of y'all got, but man, to me, that's successful. So I know a lot of successful people, and it has nothing to do with their occupation. But even if we did go to the occupation side of things, there's a lot of Black people who have been successful, lawyers that you've never heard of, doctors that you never heard of, doctor assistants you've never heard of, scientists you've never heard of, entrepreneurs, you know, busing companies, logistic companies, landscaping businesses, cleaning businesses, restaurants, and I mean, it's hundreds and thousands of occupations out there. But man, we got people successful in just about anything you can think of. We got success stories. But you know the way they do it. We're only going to put up the most brightest, successful Blacks, and we're going to use them as an example of success. That way, the rest of them feel like they can never reach that bar. They can never get there, and I can crush their hopes and dreams and aspirations. And maybe I can do it to the point where they won't even feel like the success that they already have is enough, and they'll be depressed, and they just won't even try to do better. And they'll also pass that down to their kids. Got to stop watching this mainstream media, man. Mainstream media is a PR agent for the government, and the government hates Black people. Now, that's some truth for your ass. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. The government of the United States of America hates Black people. And who is the government? All them people you see in Congress? That's your government. Those people in Congress, your politicians, who could, in effect, overnight, start punishing cops who do dirt, who engage in misconduct, who stretch their authority, who gun down innocent people. The politicians could stop them overnight. See, we fighting all over the place. We don't even know where to start the fight at. You can start with them politicians. That's where you can start. And like Tariq was saying, get your chips together. So you got to either have your money or you got to be fearless. You got to be a fearless warrior or have some money. But that's how you get justice. That's how you get your way around here. That's the American way. They ain't ready. They ain't ready for the truth, man. That truth serum is something else. Shaka Zulu say, neighborhood Nip lives on. You damn straight he live on. I'll never forget that dude. And I ain't gonna let nobody else forget him. Neighborhood Nip. Joe Sanchez said the U.S. is not the same as America. U.S. is a corporation, not a country. See Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution. Also look up Yusuf El and Taj Tariq Bey. What Mishi talking about? A lot of cats from Cali are underground sensations. You dig? What's up, Messy Marv? He said he wasn't trying to make music for the radio, different kind of guy. And I think that's what sustained him. Because had he made music for the radio and the radio didn't play his music, which they did not, then he would not have been able to eat. And we probably would have never, ever learned of a Nipsey Hussle. So he got it from the mud. Got it from the mud and became a legend. I think Nip did it for the right reasons, right? He built his empire one brick at a time. So he wasn't doing it for the fame. I remember when he signed that deal with was it Roc Nation? Before he signed the deal, I had a conversation with him about the deal. And he was talking about he was getting ready to sign it. I was like, okay, guess he know what he's doing. But he thought he was sitting on it first, sat on it for a minute. He didn't just rush right over and sign. You know, he thought about it because he had been getting offers, and he had that unique. See, radio companies, I mean, record companies, they love when you got that marketing strategy. When you can market your own stuff and you don't need them, they really want to do business with you. Yeah. So fast Carter say Nipsey represented the whole coast. Yeah, Slim Thug is putting in work in H-Town. Yeah, Slim putting in work too. Got that Boss Foundation. Yeah. Slim building houses and raising bread and giving back. For sure. I think your name is spelled Kanika Shelson. I know that last name is Shelson. I like listening to you, Willie. Sending love from Jamaica. What up, Jamaica? What's up, Jamaica? I see Terrell Miller, Howard Williams. Yeah, Chingy is a vegan. He ain't no fake vegan either. I was watching him eat. I'm trying to watch him and see if he's gonna take a bite of some of that meat. Wasn't even any kind of meat in the whole room. Yeah. All right, fam, I'm gonna catch a couple more comments and then I'm gonna break up out of this bad boy. Cause I got somewhere to be. I got something cooking so cold, man. Y'all gonna love this. Smashing the gas on these boys this year. Yeah, man, I still work out. Gotta work out. Work out or die. Die early. Tyler, Texas checking in. What's up, Tyler, Texas? So I wanted to do a recap on these cops. Just real quick on the excessive force that they're using on these kids. You know, the cop that used excessive force on the 11-year-old boy. This is crazy, y'all. Check this out. So I was searching for that story, searching for the video, because I wanted to check it out before I reported on it. As I'm searching for it, I type in 11-year-old excessive force police officer. Bam! I see 11-year-old, I click on it. It's another little black 11-year-old boy that was beat up in San Antonio. Then I start searching a little more, and then all kind, not just beat up, slammed, body slam. That's what I typed in. I typed in 11-year-old boy body slam police officer. Another little 11-year-old boy pop up, body slam by the police officer. Then I saw another one underneath that, 14-year-old body slam by a police officer. So then I just typed in, I just went back in and just typed in student body slam by police officer. And all kinds of cases, body slam. So the police officers are body slamming these kids like it's a thing. They are intentionally body slamming kids. They doing this like this is like they've been trained to pick these kids up and slam them. They're only doing this to children. You never see the police officers picking up grown people, body slamming them like that. Yeah, every time you see them wrestling and stuff, but they're picking up the kids off the ground and body slamming them. If you can pick up a kid and body slam a kid to restrain them, you can also just wrestle a kid down to the ground. This cop was twice as big as the kid. Let me show y'all a picture of this cop. I mean, let me show you, well, let me see if I can show you the weight disparity here, or the size disparity. Let's see. That's Tariq. All right, something's going on here. Okay, I got the picture. So I'm gonna show y'all the size disparity. Because someone asked me, first question, somebody in law enforcement asked me, well, how much bigger was the kid? Was he a big boy? Not that that should matter, but here is the picture of the cop manhandling the little boy. Look at that. Look at him. He got him upside down. Look how he got him. Look at his size. Now, of course, the cop is hunching down a little bit because he's chasing him. But look at the size. You can tell how big he is over this little boy. Grabbed him. He just wrestled him down to the ground, but he wanted to pick him up and dump him and humiliate him. That's what they're doing. Where's that boy daddy? Because he got to get justice. All these so-called men, all these little black children out here got daddies. Where you at, daddy? No, y'all ain't gonna let that slide. Not when you don't let somebody bumping into you at the club slide, or somebody stepping on your foot, or looking at you wrong, or any kind of somebody beat you out of $10. No, you ain't gonna let that slide. That's how you stop it, though. It ain't gonna stop, man, until these daddies step up. That's when it's gonna stop. When these daddies step up. Man, if you can pick up a kid, if you could pick up a kid, lift the kid up off the ground and slam him, you can wrestle them to the ground without picking them up and slamming. But they want to slam them. They want to humiliate them. They want to hurt them. They want to injure them. Some of them want to kill them. And they don't care if they kill them. They don't care if they slam them on their head and they get brain damage or anything. They don't give a damn. So if there's no consequences, what's the incentive for them to stop? And what's the incentive for them to not make their way eventually to your child? Every day that nothing happens to them is a gamble that is going to happen to somebody else. It's a gamble that they're going to do it to somebody else. And like Eric Fagan said earlier, leadership starts at the top. And those cops that act that way, they act that way because their superiors act that way. And you can tell the ones who act that way because as soon as they do something dirty, the cop, the first statement they say, they release, we saw no wrongdoing, he acted appropriately, cop was suspended, Man, when they know it's real, when it's going down for real, it was fired immediately. Even if you put them on suspension, don't suspension, you ain't coming back. But they'll put them on suspension. Hey man, just sit back, cool, let it cool off a little bit, man. We got you, baby boy. We got you. We ain't tripping on that. Time to dismantle those police unions. Just same as the teachers union. This is why the education system is so messed up. I was about to say flawed, but it's not flawed. It's contaminated. This is why that teachers union is too powerful. The teachers union protects bad teachers. So it's one thing to protect the good teachers. That's good. But when you protect the bad teachers, the bad ones hide behind the good ones. This is how the bad cops are able to operate with impunity. They hide behind the good ones. Well, you know, not all cops are bad. Look, I ain't never killed nobody. Look at him. We ain't never shot nobody. I ain't never did nobody like that. Yeah, fool, but you've been watching other cops do it. See how they go? Silence is consent. That means if you see something going down and it's wrong and you don't say anything about it, you don't do anything about it, you're consenting, you're agreeing with the action. Remember that. I appreciate y'all for joining me tonight on the family meeting, biggest town hall meeting in the world. Next time, y'all, till next time, man, I don't know what to say about this, man. All I can say is you fathers, man, need to step up in every kind of way. You know, one of the most basic instincts for a man is to protect his family. Now, all these kids out here who've been getting body slammed, they got daddies. Well, yeah, pops, no more talk.